What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting Apex Legends video. Today I'm going to give you my Apex Predator ALC settings for Apex Legends Season 8. Let's do it. Bean, bro! Let's go, baby! Alright guys, welcome back to another Apex Legends video. Today I'm going to give you my ALC settings, my Apex Predator ALC settings that I've been using for a long time now. Now, although this is a settings video and you guys have probably seen, countless setting videos in the past for Apex, including my own, which I love updating you guys on to show you how much things change. I'm just not going to go over everything that's in here. If you guys do want to know my gameplay and just the normal controller stuff that happens inside Apex Legends, the settings for me, then check out the video. The link will be above. But this, we're just going to get into the bread and butter. I'll just skim through just this, and then we'll get into the bread and butter of the ALC settings. So I've been using ALC settings for a long time now. And then I've also been using the normal settings, which you can see right here is 6-4 for me or 5-4 for me. So with a classic respawn and then the look dead zone of a small. So these haven't changed since my last video. So I just want to go over the advanced look controls because this is a little bit more in depth. You're going to have more control over everything that you have as far as your aim, your movement, etc. inside Apex Legends. So let's just break this down. Okay, so you just turn this on. Now, if you guys just look to the right, there's a brief explanation of everything that these mean, but if you guys want some clarity, I'm going to go over the ones that I'm currently using, and the other ones that we leave out, we just leave out. Okay, so dead zone is the size of the inner range in which the stick input will not be registered. So smaller is generally better. It allows for a finer control. So the default is up here, but the lower the dead zone, the easier and more control you have over your thumbstick. Okay, although we do use thumbsticks and like we only have our thumbs, we don't have an arm like PC, this is going to give you the best amount of control that you can have on your aim. So I used to have this at none, but I have this one tick up from the bottom. This is just a very, very good, comfortable dead zone for me. This allows me to control my aim, as you guys just saw. It controls my aim really, really well with the R99 and like the flatline and other guns that have high recoil. So having a dead zone a lot smaller than normal, like if we put this up and then we come back out here and we try to aim, like my stick is just going to move a little bit more than it normally would. And that's just because I don't have as much control. You're kind of letting the stick do more of it than just your thumb. But look at that. I mean, it's just the dead zone. You just have more control over your stick when you're applying the pressure. So outer threshold, this is just the boundary of the max stick input that your thumb would need to go. The default is only 1 up. I just turn this as low as it can possibly go, and that just works. You can use this on the default, which is just fine. So, but I just leave this on 1. Now the response curve, this is the magnitude remapping applied to your stick input. It's how sensitive the stick is across the range of your input. So lower values can feel too twitchy and higher values can feel too dull. So the default is roughly around like a 3 sensitivity if you were going to play with normal, like a normal response curve. If you were to play like with the ALC settings turned off. So I have mine 1, 2, 3 above, I believe. Yeah, I had it 3 above, or no, I have it, yeah, 3 above. The response curve, this just allows me to have it just like feel really good when I'm moving, because as you can see, my stick kind of pulls a little bit, but this just allows you to have really good control over here, and it puts me at about like a 4 or a 5 look sensitivity that would be on default, which is really good for me. It makes me feel like I can really just, I can snap onto people really well. So and then I can just move over and snap. You know what I mean? So this is roughly where you want it. Now, if you play a little bit higher, then you get into the higher sensitivities. Now, this is all personal preference, guys, but I'm going to share mine because like this just really works for me. The higher that you have it, it's just going to feel like you can't move. If I put this all the way up, right, it just feels really dull. Like I just don't have a whole lot of control. And then if I turn it down, right, my response curve is just like, it's just so twitchy. I just feel like I'm playing on linear. And at that point, you might as well look, I can't even aim because it's just too twitchy. So I want this at like a 3 above. This gives me a really good response curve for controlling my aim and movement in Apex. Per octave settings, I just leave these all, 1.2, 1.4, 2.0, 3.0, 3.0, 3.0. I never use these big sights, guys, so I don't know if you guys use them, but I never do. The 4x octave, I rarely do. If I'm using the 2x4, then that goes up, but 1x2, 1x4, just as this allows me to keep up with people moving fast inside Apex Legends. So I leave that on. Now the yaw speed and pitch speed, guys, this is how quickly you turn left or right or go up and down, okay? Now for overall, this is my pitch speed going up is a lot less than my pitch speed going left and right. Because the reason I want this is I want my pitch speed up and down to be a lot lower so I can track people easier when I'm hip firing. And I want the yaw speed higher so then that way I can turn left or right to be able to snap and just look around and have really good movement inside Apex. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 before the tick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this just gives me a really good, like, left to right. Look at that. My left to right is really good. It's about equal to that, like 5 or 6. So it allows me just to have really good movement when I'm moving around. And then the up and down is equivalent to like a 3 or 4. So when I am tracking on here, right, and I'm just hip firing, I can have really good control because not a lot of players jump, and when they do jump, you can just easily track up and down. You don't need this to be very fast, but you do want your left and right. So when you are like you're hip firing and you need to reload, then I can just, I can move around and get away. You want to be able to do that, but the main reason that these values are this way is because I want to be able to hip fire and track as best that I can. And then my pitch speed is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the start point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you can play around with these. It all depends on how you want. If you want to be able to just, look like you're using a mouse on your ALC settings or on console, then you could turn these all the way up. And it's going to help you just look like you're cracked out of your mind. And hey, shout out to you, man. If you can play on the higher sensitivities and just, destroy lobbies and destroy teams, then hey, man, props to you. Do your thing. Me, I like these values just at 17 and then 6, just so I can have really good left to right aim when I'm moving around. So if I have to dodge, and I'm just trying to dodge bullets, or I need to move and like lock onto other teams. And then for my hip fire, I want to be able just to track really, really well. So those are the values that I have on that. Now the turning extra yaw, this just allows you when your stick and put is at maximum, how much more quickly you turn left or right, and allows you to turn around with more finer control. So what this does is it allows me when I'm like going this way, I can just spin and then like lock on. So if I'm running and I need to spin and then lock onto somebody, I can do that and just whip around, right? This is about equal to the setting. Now if I turn this off, then the setting is going to be a little bit different. It just won't allow me to turn with such fine control, or it won't be as smooth. It's going to be a little bit rough. So like, let's see if we turn this all the way down and just take this off, right? Like, see how much slower, and like I just don't feel like I have the movement here. It's a little bit, it's very, very limited. So I can't necessarily just whip on somebody. Like, and then look at that. That's me slide jumping and trying to do a 180 just to turn on somebody. I do that a lot when I'm running. So if I jump and turn around, look how much slower that is. But then if I turn my yaw speed all the way up, right, and then I slide jump, like look how much faster I can just turn on somebody. So I want to be able to move very quickly and make really fine adjustments in my game without too much, disrupting or having to take a long time to do that. The extra things, ramp up, delay, and extra pitch, we don't use any of these guys. There's no reason to, so turn those all the way off. Now, ADS, yaw speed, pitch speed, guys, this is how fast and how quickly you're going to move left to right and up and down. So when you are aiming 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, I have this 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 3 on the ADS yaw speed, and pitch speed is 2 above. This just gives me a really good sense of control when I'm aiming. What this means is that I'm roughly at like a 3 or a 4 on normal settings, which for you may not be that good, but for me it just works really, really well. It's just a personal preference thing. It's just going to allow me to aim and control the stick very well. Now the ADS yaw speed on here, if I use the 301, it controls the left to right a lot better. So when I'm aiming, I don't have a lot of left to right recoil on the gun. I mean, you can see the R3 is just a really balanced gun, and there's not a lot of left to right. But if we go to the flatline, which has a lot of left to right on the stick, right? See, it's very manageable and easier to control when I have that up to about 3. I can still keep hit my target every single time. Now, if you turn this up more, you're going to be more cracked like you're on a mouse. And then if you turn it down more, you're going to be down to like a default 3 or a 2 on normal settings, which is not going to be as easy. So if we turn this down, right, if we just turn this down and I'm trying to aim, look how slow it is for me to move. It's going to make tracking almost impossible. And then if we turn this up, right, if we just like turn this, like just get a good, like turn this up a lot. Now look, now my stick is just all over the place. It's just too cracked for me. So I keep this around 3 on the yaw speed, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 on the pitch speed, 1, 2. This gives me a really nice, smooth feeling to be able to track, go up and down, and then just keep, you know, me being on target the entire time without anybody trying to get away from me. So, and it allows me to keep recoil very manageable. So that's why I use those two. And then everything else here, guys, is all turned off. You don't need any of this. If you do want, if you feel like you're struggling on tracking, but you don't want to increase these, then you could turn the ADS extra yaw. What this allows you to do is when you're ADSing, it allows you to move a lot faster, left and right and up and down. So if you're having trouble tracking, then you can definitely do that. But you should definitely use these little targets to increase your tracking, guys. But left and right, it just allows you to have a little bit more control with that if you are struggling with tracking. For me, I did use this like, you know, 1 or 2 up or just on the normal bar, but I turn it off because the normal ADS settings allow you to just be able to track targets very, very well and really easy. So it's not too bad when you're doing that. But again, guys, everything is off. And then, of course, with ALC, this right here, target compensation, guys, and melee target compensation. This is your aim assist. If you're on controller and you're using these settings, turn these on. Okay, don't be a ditto. Don't be one of these. Turn these on. You need these. But if you want, copy the settings. Let me know how you like them down in the comments. But that is going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do hope that these, Apex Predator ALC settings really do help you out. I've been loving them for a while, and I've been playing with them for a season now, you know, ever since season 7. So we're into season 8, and the settings have just been a complete laser beam for me, especially on the more high recoil guns like the Flatline and the Spitfire, which has become absolute meta right now. So I mean, look at that. The gun is just not moving. It's just such smooth control. I can really aim and just do whatever I want with these settings. So I really do hope that these settings have helped you out, guys. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to drop a like. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more Apex Legends tips videos. And for me, Warlog, as always, guys, stay gaming, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.